To the channel Physics Made Easy. Today we will discuss section E of the physics sample paper for class 12 CBSE board. This section contains 3 questions each of 5 marks. So total 15 marks. All these questions have internal choices. So here first question, state Gauss theorem in electrostatics. Using this theorem derive an expression for electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. This is the first part of the question number 31. What is Gauss theorem? Gauss theorem gives the relation between electric flux and charge enclosed by any hypothetical surface placed in the electric field, that is called Gaussian surface. As per Gauss theorem, electric flux, which is the dot product of electric field and the area vector, is charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface upon 1 upon epsilon naught. So what is the statement of Gauss theorem? Electric flux through a Gaussian surface, any hypothetical surface placed in electric field, is 1 upon epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by that surface. Listen again, the electric flux through any closed surface placed in electric field is 1 upon epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by that surface. This is the Gauss theorem. Using this theorem, you have to derive the electric field due to uniformly charged plane sheet. Suppose this is the plane sheet I have taken here. It is positively charged. So all over the surface you have to mark the positive charges like this. Okay. Now since the sheet is infinitely long, so you will find here that this infinite plane sheet, suppose it has the sheet, it is the sheet like this. Okay. If here the positive charges and here the positive charges, you know, positive charge, the electric field due to positive charge is away from the positive charge. So from this surface near the surface any point if you suppose, then the field will be away from the positive charge, and here also. So if you consider any hypothetical surface and its shape is like cylindrical or rectangular, maybe passing through any point at this point, suppose P, then due to symmetry you can consider on other side of the sheet at the same distance the point P dash. So any surface which may be, suppose here cylindrical, passing through the Gaussians, this sheet of charges and cutting through this sheet, you may assume at this point P, what will be the electric field away from the perpendicular to the plane of sheet, away here in this side, and at this point P dash, if you suppose this is P dash and this is P, then the electric field will be same and in this direction away. What is the area of this spherical, this surface? So this will be suppose A, and here also A. The symmetrical Gaussian cylindrical surface we have assumed. The E and A both are vector, and for this curved surface of the cylinder, you will see that the electric field and area vector, they will be perpendicular. Area vector will be perpendicular and electric field both mutually perpendicular. What is E dot ds, or this ds is a area vector? This is how will you use Gauss theorem to find the electric field near this charge sheet. Look at point P and P dash. If we consider electric field net flux due to electric field, the net flux will be this E dot A due to this point P plus E dot A due to other point P dash. So what will be the electric field? That is out of the summation, this is A dot A, and plus here this is E dot, you write here dA, so you should write here dA for the small surface we are considering, so we have mentioned here dA. And what will be the integration of this dA? You write here this dA, and what will be the integration of this dA? The whole area, you can write here EA. And this E dot dA, both are parallel. E dot dA, EDA cos theta, cos 0 will be 1. So only EA will be left. EDA and then EA. EA from here, this will be total twice EA. What is this? Twice EA. As per Gauss theorem, this is equal to the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface, since the sheet is of infinite dimension. So look here, this will be the charge enclosed supposed Q upon epsilon naught. This implies that what will be the electric field? You can write E equal to Q upon twice A epsilon naught. Q upon A is the surface charge density, so you can also write it as E equal to surface charge density upon epsilon naught into 2. So this is the magnitude of the electric field for the point very near to the sheet. E dot dA is EDA, and EDA, if you write, then EA, because dA is the small element area, then total area is A, and as per Gauss theorem, Q enclosed upon epsilon naught, so this is the magnitude. This electric field is at the point P very near to the charge surface on this side or on this side. So near the charge sheet, you have derived the expression. Second, a spherical conducting shell of inner radius R1 and outer radius R2 has charge Q. So look the second part. If you consider the shell of radius R1 and R2, inner R1 and outer R2. Suppose this is the shell. Okay, inner radius is this one. This is R1 and outer is this one. So this is R2. This shell has charge Q, so it is the charge Q here. First point, a charge Q is placed at the center of the shell. Here this charge small q is placed at the center of the shell. Find the inner and outer surface charge density of the shell. Look, this charge plus q will induce negative charge at the inner and positive charge at the outer. So positive charge due to this surface will come here, it will come here, and it will become q plus q. Learn this. So at the inner surface of radius r1, what will be the surface charge density? Inner surface charge density will be minus q upon 4 pi r1 square. This is the r1. And at the outer, what will be the net charge? Q plus q. So at the outer surface, what will be the this surface charge density? Q plus q upon 4 pi r2 square. Okay. Is the electric field intensity inside a cavity with no charge 0 even if the shell is not spherical but has any irregular shape? What will be your answer? Yes. Gauss theorem says that E dot ds is electric flux is Q enclosed upon epsilon naught. This we have seen in the first part. Here we have seen since the charge is placed inside the shell, so inner surface charge density is this much. There is no charge enclosed, it is given no charge. Then whatever may be the shape or size of the area, that is the shape, irregular, it has irregular shape or any spherical shape or any other shape, it doesn't matter. The electric field intensity inside a cavity will be 0. as it doesn't include any charge, whatever may be the shape of the surface. So in this way you have to solve. The choice question of question 31. Derive an expression for the energy stored in a charged parallel plate air capacitor and hence derive an expression for the energy density of the electric field. This question is the first part and second we will do later on. So energy stored in a charged capacitor. You know, capacitor is a system of two conductors having charges Q and minus Q, equal and opposite charges. To determine the energy stored, let us consider initially both the conductors are neutral. They don't have any charge. So suppose this is the plate 1 and this is the plate 2. Now charge transfer process takes place from conductor 2 to 1. This is 1 and this is 2. Bit by bit. These are two neutral conductors. If the charge transfer process is supposed to be taking place bit by bit, then it is supposed that this charge transfer is taking place in such a way bit by bit, so that at the end the first conductor can be supposed to be having charge plus Q and the second one minus Q due to the charge conservation. Both were neutral. Now the total charge is still 0. In transferring the charge from second to first, work will be done, and this work done will be externally, since the first one is at higher voltage as compared to first one as plus Q and second one at minus Q. This net work done will be stored in the combination, this system of plates, that is called capacitor, charged capacitor, in the form of potential energy. Let us imagine in this charging process, in the beginning, suppose this has a charge Q dash and this plate has charge minus Q dash. So what is the potential difference between the two plates? This V dash can be written as Q dash upon C. Now imagine dW is the work done in bringing a charge, this delta Q dash, from second to the positive to the first plate. So what will be the work done? dW, that can be written as, this will be V dash into delta Q dash. What will be the net work done in charging the capacitor from 0 to the total charge Q? How will you write? This net work done can be written as from 0 to Q, this sum of all the work done in transferring the charge delta Q from 2 to 1. What will you do here? You can write here this V dash as Q dash upon C. So this will be Q dash upon C dQ dash. This is from 0 to Q. We can write here this as dQ. Okay, small charge amount. What is the integration of Q dash dQ? Q square upon 2. So what will you get here? This is Q dash square upon 2C and the limits 0 to Q. So what will you get? That net work done which is stored in the form of electrostatic potential energy represented by U. So U is equal to Q square upon 2C. This is the energy of the energy stored in the parallel plate air capacitor. Energy density, you know, density is mass per unit volume. Energy density, energy stored per unit volume, volume of the capacitor. You know, plate area is A and gap between the plate is D, so area will be A into D. So if energy density expression is to be derived, then energy density is represented by small u, and this small u equal to U, the total energy of the capacitor upon this area into volume. So this area into small d, this is the volume. The area, the potential, total energy, total electrostatic potential energy upon volume is the energy density. Put the value, simple. This is Q square upon 2C into AD. What is the formula for capacitance of parallel plate capacitor? Simply I am writing here this Q square upon 2 epsilon naught A upon D, and this A will make it A square and this D will be cancelled. What is Q by A? Surface charge density is sigma, so you can write it as sigma square upon 2 epsilon naught. If it is asked in terms of electric field, derive the expression. Then what do you know? The electric field inside the plates of the capacitor is given by sigma upon epsilon naught. So put here, to bring electric field, what will you write here? This U can be written as this half epsilon naught E square. You know, sigma square upon epsilon naught square will be E square, so divided multiplied by epsilon naught. So this will become epsilon naught square, so E square, and multiplication this. So this is the energy density. In the second part, ratio of the capacitance is 1:2. Let C1 is C, then C2 will be, this C2 will be 2C. Okay. Ratio of the potential difference that must be applied across the series and parallel combination of the capacitor. So let in series combination, we will get C dash, or you can write here CS, series. The CS will be this C into 2C upon C plus 2C. That will become 2 by 3C. And what will be the energy? This is U1. Then U1 will be half C dash V1 square, that is half, what is C dash? 2 by 3 C V1 square, 2 cancel, so it is 1 upon 3 C1 V1 square. In the second case, parallel. So in the parallel combination, what will you find here? This CP will be this simple C plus 2C, that is 3C. Therefore, parallel combination energy, you will write here this half CP V2 square, let the potential is V2. Here this is C dash, instead of C dash we have used CS. So here this is half 3C V2 square. This is the expression number 2. It is said that energy stored in the two cases becomes the same. Do the same. This U1 equal to U2. Then what will you write? This 1 upon 3 C V1 square equal to 3 by 2 C V2 square. So this C is cancelled. This implies that V1 upon V2 square. This is equal to what? This 9 by 2. It means V1 is to V2 is what? 3 by root 2. So in this way, this question is solved.